Hi guys, George here from Zero Period Productions. Have you ever wanted someone to always carry your burdens, a follower that you could grow close to have as your housecarl, and maybe more? If you answered yes to any or all of these questions, then you're in for a treat, because today on Skyrim Saturday we're taking a look at Lydia, Improved Follower Dialogue by Roadhouse. This mod replaces Lydia's original voice actor and adds 900 lines of new dialogue, turning her into a supporting character for your Skyrim playthrough. For many players, she's one of the first followers that we encounter in the game. But like 99% of the followers in Skyrim, she really doesn't have much to say or add to your adventures. With this mod, Lydia will comment on the main questline, should you have her with you of course, as well as the companions questline, Civil War, and more. Not to mention commentary for a couple other mods, including Legacy of the Dragonborn and Beyond Skyrim Bruma. And on top of all this, the mod gives Lydia a backstory, a personal questline, and a fleshed out romance as well. For the Skyrim Saturday series, we'll be focused on the new quests, but we'll also take a little bit of a look at some of the other conversations that pop up during the vanilla questline. Because of the amount of dialogue that is triggered by main quest stages, it is recommended to have this mod installed at the start of a brand new character. While you can install it mid-playthrough, you'll run into a backup of dialogue, all triggering at once as Lydia tries to get caught up to where you are in the main quest. She'll also make various comments on your skills and abilities as they increase, showing that she's really intended to be a part of your journey from beginning to end. One thing to note is that you will likely run into conflicts if you have any mods that edit Lydia's NPC records. Anything else that might change her appearance, voice type, or follower functions could result in the mod not working properly. There are some compatibility patches out there for a couple different NPC overhauls and replacers, but for this playthrough and for stability's sake, I'll be using Vanilla Lydia. Looking at a couple of the compatible NPC replacers, I really didn't see one for me. Too many of them just add that weird, flawless, plasticky looking skin that I've never really been a big fan of in Skyrim mods. To start Lydia's personal quest, you'll need to wait 8 in-game weeks, or complete the diplomatic immunity quest in the Thalmor Embassy. At this point, a character out of Western Hafengar will track you down in order to start the quest. Her romance can be triggered either by completing this personal quest, or by initiating a conversation with her after meeting Parthenax at the Throat of the World. One thing to note as we start is that I did run into a little bit of a bug with Lydia, where she would be placed inside the Thalmor Embassy after completing diplomatic immunity. Fortunately, after speaking with her there, she was able to follow me again.
Thane, you had me worried sick with that little infiltration. Are you alright? The Thalmor are some of the most dangerous people in Tamriel.
I'm fine, Lydia. Remember who you're talking to.
Your safety is my responsibility. Plus, if you die, I'd have to go back to guarding the Jarl's kids. I'm really not happy with this Delphine character, to be honest with you. She put your life in serious danger over a hunch. She's hardly the sharpest blade in the... I was going to say armory, but I guess blades works fine. Not the sharpest blade in the blades. We should probably go tell her what you found in there.
I mean, if there's only 2 blades left, then I guess there's really not a lot of competition for her to be the sharpest blade in the blades. What we'll do is we'll go to Solitude and wait there, since the character for her quest is supposed to spawn somewhere in Western Hafengar. Because my question is, do they come right to us, or do we have to kind of like walk around and look for them out in the wild? I don't know if it's going to be a courier situation where they'll only meet us in a city, or if we got to just kind of wander a little bit. Oh, well, that answers that. Hello. I don't know if this is what I'm looking for, but this is certainly new. This is certainly unexpected. All right. Oh man, we just waiting around in Solitude, and a dark elf assassin just pops up out of nowhere, huh? Oh god, I'm taking a little bit of damage. So Lydia, you got this. Lydia, you're fine. Don't worry. One thing I should note is that this is a pretty new character because I had to make a new character to start the mod. So I think I'm level 9. I don't know if this is balanced for a certain level, but
Not every day they
I might
send
be a
an
little
assassin
low.
who's actually competent after you.
I'm fine. Relax, it's hardly the first time someone's tried to kill me.
In case you were forgetting, your safety is my responsibility. That assassin was more skilled than most of the people we fight.
Oh, you thought
and
so
he was
too?
carrying a note that might have a lead.
Okay.
I'm advising you to follow that lead. For your safety and my sanity.
What if I don't want to bother with a wild goose chase? His note mentioned someone named Kolgar in Rorikstead. I haven't picked up the note yet.
Well, I guess we're off to Rorikstead then.
I haven't
Right?
picked it up. Don't worry about the dead body. I appreciate your concern, but there are things we need to do first. Since when do housecarls give orders to thanes?
What? Are you saying you don't see me as a friend after all we've been through?
Anything for you. Appreciate your concern, but there are things we need to do first. Anything for you.
Didn't expect to hear you, of all people, say something like that.
Ouch, okay. Started the King of Cowards. They named a quest after me. How kind. One thing I like is that you have the ability to have her adjust your armor plates. Essentially, it just gives you a little bit of a buff to your armor for a period of time.
You feel the two bones at the base of your neck? The top of your breastplate should be directly over them. Here, let me show you.
It reminds me of how in Witcher 3 you can use the grindstone to improve your weapon damage for a little bit, or the workbench to improve your armor and quality for a little bit.
Let's go.
It's just a nice little touch. Okay, here's the note. Let's check it out. Taro, unfortunately the place in Balgrav's court I was hoping to take was grabbed by Lydia. That's me. I'm Lydia, playing the Lydia mod. If my people are going to move through Whiterun Hold unmolested, I'm going to need to take that thaneship for myself. Get rid of him and find Kolgar in Rorikstead. He has your payment. V. Is this gonna be like a cyberpunk mashup? Do you think? Probably not. Unfortunately, I don't think it's gonna be a crossover episode. While traveling in Skyrim, a skilled dumber assassin ambushed Lydia and I, but we were able to subdue him, as in we killed him. On his corpse, I found a note that indicated a man in Rorikstead named Kolgar. Lydia is insisting we travel there at once. If anything, yeah. I realize that I'm the target, but Lydia
I once captained a ship called the
seems a
Argent
little,
Raptor. She struck an
more
iceberg and
interested in
went
this.
down
She
just
seems to
north
have
of
some sort of
Windhelm.
vested interest in this, is all I gotta
What
say.
a waste.
Uh-oh. Hello.
I've been looking for you. Got something I'm supposed to deliver. Your hands only. Let's see here.
Ah, a letter from the Jarl. Moving up in the world, eh?
I guess so.
Looks like that's it. Got to go.
Well, you hear that, Lydia? I could become Thane of Falkreath if I wanted to. I could become Thane of Falkreath, I can get my own home. It's like the courier said, I am moving on up in the world. Now, the only thing is I don't know how long Lydia's new content is, like
I
how
used to
long
be an
her new
adventurer
quest
like you.
is, how long
When I
her
took an arrow in the knee.
romantic questline is. Because while the mod does add her own questline and everything, the real emphasis is still on her interaction with you throughout the main quest, and then her interaction with you just through the different guilds, side quests, and adventuring as well.
Come on in. We got warm food, warm drinks, and warm beds.
There's something you want from me? Or is bothering strangers a pastime of yours?
Oh, it's a pastime, alright. Care to explain this?
Leave me alone. If there's a plot to kill you, I don't have any part in it. For all I know, you could have forged that.
Why would I have forged it? If my life is ever scum, I'm not just gonna leave you be.
Well, I'm not gonna put my life at risk helping you. You're just a stranger to me.
You're putting yourself in danger by not helping me.
Alright. Settle down. I've been working for a warrior named Vanyar Red Tundra. He's trying to build an army of deserters from the Stormcloaks and Imperial Legion. I don't know much else about him. He's always covered from neck to toe in heavy armor and carries a fancy-looking battle axe. Says it's an heirloom. I was supposed to meet him on some old farm in the eastern plains. Said he was certain it was abandoned, and he used it to move soldiers through the region.
Was that so hard?
Just leave me alone.
There we go. What do you think?
Right behind you.
Oh, do you not have anything to say
Let's
about
go.
it? Well, it marked his part as completed, but... Are you gonna have anything to say about it? You just gonna stand there menacingly? Are you even following me right now? Okay, you are. Maybe we'll
Good
just
afternoon.
head back outside. Maybe then something will happen. We'll find another assassin, that's what it is.
Hold on a moment. Kolgar mentioned at least one thing that can't possibly... Hold on a moment.
Oh, alright.
Kolgar mentioned at least one thing that can't possibly be a coincidence.
Coincidence? How so?
First of all, the farm I grew up on was in eastern Whiterun. I haven't been back there in 10 years now. Second, I remember the name Red Tundra. They were the bandit clan that killed my mother. I thought they'd been taken care of, but apparently I was mistaken.
And they returned to the scene of the crime. Also, I don't think she told me about her parents previously. Remind me, what happened to your parents?
Okay, you should know this. I bring them up a lot, but if you need me to jog your memory...
Kinda weird of you.
When I was 10 years old, there was a bandit clan harassing my family's farmstead. They'd come by every few days and demand something from us. My father was a soldier, and my mother was a companion, so they always refused. Too much pride between the two of them, and no, that's not a detriment. One day, the bandits got sick and tired of their resistance. A group of them attacked my father while he was telling them to piss off. He cut most of them down like wheat. One of them managed to sweep through his legs with a claymore from behind, and he buckled right over. My mother went running out to help him. More bandits showed up, and they were too much for my ma to handle. I took off running, trying to see if any of the Jarl's men were patrolling the area, while the bandits ransacked our house. Wasn't much left when I got back.
I suppose we should head over there then.
This'll be interesting, to say the least.
Travel to the homestead Lydia grew up on. Okay, so she just didn't want to say it in front of Kolgar. Which, if anything, that makes sense. Delinus Farm, just north of Whiterun, then. Alright, let's head on over. Well, that should be the farmhouse right there. If it is filled with bandits and deserters, it's kind of funny because it's right on the main road. You would think the guards might have noticed at some point, huh? Maybe they just don't care.
Who are you two? Did Vonyar send you here as well?
Yes.
I told you we should have ditched the uniforms.
I'd rather not be running around unprotected.
I grew up on this farm. It was ransacked by the Red Tundra 16 years ago, and now Vonyar sent an assassin after my friend here.
Maybe let me do the talking.
Bandits? Red Tundra's a mercenary, not a bandit. He told us he almost became one of Yarbogriff's thanes.
I don't know anything about this Vonyar character, but I do know his family killed my mother, just a few steps from where we're standing, out in the yard. Is he here? His friend Kolgar said he'd be.
Nah, Red Tundra's got the fortress out in the mountains. He stays there with the other deserters he's collected.
You shouldn't be telling them all that, you oaf.
What's it matter? They already walked in on a Stormcloak and an Imperial sharing a house.
Oof.
And I'm starting to get skeptical of this Vonyar fellow.
We can't be certain he's a bandit based on her word alone.
Listen to me. I saw members of his family cripple my father and kill my mother right outside that door. He sent an assassin after my friend.
Hi.
We have a letter from V right here.
Not the cyberpunk V.
There are a lot of V's in this world. Have you been to Morrowind?
I think she's telling the truth. Let it go, Isilda. Vonya's fortress is in the southern Dragon Tales, in a place called Coldspire Canyon. From what I hear, he already has a decent number of men there. It won't be an easy fight.
You're right, Finrar. I'm sorry about everything that's happened to you, kinsman. Do you need some time alone here?
I'd appreciate that. I hope you don't mind us stopping for a moment, Thane.
Of course. Take all the time you need.
I appreciate that. My parents were always happy with a boring life.
Isilda's
They'd
like, I
seen
gotta
enough
go, leave
action
me
in the
alone.
war. They still practice from time to time, though. I guess that's why I never heard them argue. They took out all their energy sparring.
Sparring, is that what the kids are calling it these days? Fenrir?
That stag was my father's proudest kill, and the wolf was my first. A 30-pound bow when I was 12 years old, at about 35 yards. I wish my mother could have been there to see. I'd swing a wooden sword around down here a lot. Always wanted to be like my parents. I didn't really start training until I lost my mother. It's still here. My father taught me so much of what I know with this thing.
Wait, what? With what? What are you looking at?
I cried my eyes out here when I found out my mother died. Realizing your parents aren't immortal hurts. I was more prepared when I lost my father, and I just got angry. He'd been through so much, only to be taken by fever.
I still don't entirely know what it was that she... Oh, the wooden sword. Never mind. I saw her looking up, and that's why I was confused.
It's hard to see all this again. Coming back here was a mistake.
It wasn't a mistake. It was important. I learned all this about you.
Was it?
How many times have you saved my life now? I owe you this much as a friend.
I appreciate the fact that you feel that way, but I can't let you.
Can't let me see you
My
as a
duty,
friend?
above all else, is to keep you safe. Letting my past distract me could hinder that.
You're still human, Lydia. I can't let you keep things like this under the rug.
I wasn't keeping it under the rug. I mentioned my parents to you plenty of times. I just didn't need to come back here and see it all again.
I also don't remember her mentioning her parents before this, so I don't know. I'm sorry, I should have been more considerate of the way you feel.
It's all right. It wouldn't be right to get mad at you for caring about me.
Should we get underway?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, maybe the reason she was still looking up there is because maybe Fenrir is still just standing up here? He is.
Is there still something you want from us?
Why did you leave the Imperial Legion?
Make no mistake. The Empire's been good for Tamriel by and large. They've kept people safe and generally treated everyone fairly.
But
Nowadays, though, they want me to kill my kinsmen. I couldn't bring myself to keep doing that. Nothing more uncivil than a civil war.
how did you meet Iselda?
My cohort ambushed the Stormcloak supply wagon she was guarding one evening. We outnumbered them and had the terrain advantage. It barely took a minute. We drove them off before they could get a hold of their wounded, and they had to leave them behind. After we took the wagon, we left as quick as we came. I'd been thinking about leaving for a long time, and seeing fellow Nords die almost helplessly at my hands earlier, I decided that would be the night I snuck out of the camp. On the way out, I found that the Zelda had crawled hundreds of meters in a few hours, and had no intention to go back to the rebel army after they left her for dead.
Alright. Kinda wish we could talk to her. I'd like to hear her story.
I thought you were going to Coldspire Canyon.
Oh, I was actually just
Is there still
wondering
something you want from us?
about you. Why did you leave the Stormcloak Rebellion?
They left me for dead after an Imperial ambush. I suppose you could argue that they didn't have much of a choice, considering how hard the Imperials hit us. Still, I was deeply disappointed in my shield brothers and sisters that day. It was Fenrir, the enemy, who helped me, and not them. Talking to Fenrir, though, I've actually gotten a bit of respect for Ulfric's cause back. But I don't think it's worth killing other Nords over.
How did you and Fenrir meet?
After I was left for dead in an Imperial ambush, he found me and helped me. He told me he was running from the Legion, and considering what had happened earlier that day, I figured I ought to do the same. We've been running ever since. You ask me, we've got to get back into the fight at some point.
I like them, and I also just like
Is
that
there still something you want from us?
we could talk to both of them, that they were able to tell us their story of why they left their respective factions, how they met. It's a nice little touch. It's one of those things where it didn't need to be there. It didn't have to be added in for the sake of the story, but I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that they did just give us that little bit of extra, like, characterization and whatnot. Also, where did Lydia go? Because she was right out here. Did she just
Is there still something you want from us?
teleport somewhere? Because followers always seem to do that. There you are. You went back inside. You had to use the little girls' room, didn't you? Fenrir, if you could move.
I thought you were going to Coldspire
Because I think he's
Canyon.
blocking
Is there
her. Oh,
something you want
and she
from us?
teleported anyway. So in that case, we should be good.
Still here.
Alright, and I'm also just going to check in with her every now and then just to see if she does have anything else
Let's
to
go.
say. Coldspire Canyon, south from Rorikstead. That's going to be my closest location, so we'll walk from there. Alright, we are here. Coldspire Canyon.
Right behind you.
Oh, did I cut her off right before
Let's
she
go.
would have said something? I might have. Here we are, Coldspire Canyon. Do you have anything to say, or... No. No?
Thane,
Lydia.
let's go.
Alright, yeah. In we go. Because the thing is, it's been 16 years since her parents were killed. We don't know that it's the same person responsible for it. We know that
Well, it looks like this will
it's
take
the
us higher
same
into the mountains.
family.
Probably better than trying to trek through them to find the canyon.
We know it's the same family, the same surname, but a lot can happen in 16 years. Never mind, bandits. Never mind, you guys are still bandits. I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt, but no.
You're a fool to fight me.
Turns out Red Tundra really is just recruiting bandits in order to, or recruiting deserters to build his bandit army.
Really think you can take the two of us?
If anything, I think that would have been a really cool idea for like a third faction, even just in the base game of like, oh, here's this army of deserters that's just kind of tired of everything. Not that you would necessarily join them during the Civil War, but it would just be interesting to have them as like another faction. But I always wanted there to be bandit factions and bandit groups, like different, distinct bandit groups in Skyrim. We got it a little bit with a couple specific quests, but nothing really just widespread across the game. I know there's mods that do it, but, you know, looking back, 12 years later, it's something that could have been cool to have in the base game, something I would hope to have in, you know, future games.